Welcome back. Megan Giroux is a clinical dietitian. Thank you so much for joining us. It is National Diabetes Awareness Month. It is the holidays coming up here, a time when there's a lot of options. So what we're looking to do here is to get some advice to make things both joyful but also healthy. Sound like you can help me with that?
I can certainly try.
Okay, yeah, good. That's all we can try here, right? What are some simple ways for managing blood sugar during big holiday meals or gatherings?
Yeah, so when I think about managing blood sugars during the holidays or at mealtime, one of the things I usually always recommend is balanced meals.
Yeah.
So balanced meals, if you're not familiar with that, would be a quarter of your plate would be protein. So that would be ham, turkey, chicken, things like that. A quarter of your plate you would want to have as your starches or your starchy vegetables.
Yep.
So peas, corn, stuffing, yeast rolls, things like that. And then the half of your plate that's not filled yet, you want to fill that with your vegetables.
Sure.
Right? So Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, a nice salad, whatever the vegetables are that are being offered. But having those components together helps keep your blood sugars well managed during your mealtime specifically.
I can wrap my mind around that one.
Yeah.
It's National Diabetes Awareness Month, so how can people with diabetes enjoy a traditional holiday treat without feeling like they're going without, I guess?
Desserts around the holidays, you can't really avoid them.
Yeah.
So I think the most important thing that folks with diabetes or anyone specifically could do is really just portion control, right? We hear portion control, being mindful, eating in moderation. Those are all things to kind of keep in mind. I think if there's a lot of things that are being offered, maybe just take smaller portions of them. One tip I give people is if you have your meal, maybe wait a couple hours before you have dessert. Let those blood sugars come down a little bit, go for a walk, play games as a family, those kind of things.
Are there certain foods or drinks that tend to cause unexpected blood sugar spikes?
I don't know if it would be unexpected, but those sugar-sweetened beverages are going to be the ones that increase your blood sugar the most. So juice, soda, fruit punch, those kind of things. When I think about foods, I would say anything that's, I guess, added sugar, right? Glazed, honey glazed carrots, maple glazed Brussels sprouts, sweet potato casserole.
Yeah.
All of those things technically have added sugar to them, so they're just going to spike your blood sugars
A little bit more.
A little bit more.
Yep. Okay. Tips: staying mindful for portion control sizes, eating balanced when all this temptation surrounds us.
So I have two major tips that I give out to people for this. The first one is, I think around the holidays, we purposely try to skip our meals before the big meal, right? Because we know we're going to eat more than we typically do. To manage your blood sugars, it's actually better to eat your regular meals as you typically would, because it's going to help your blood sugars stay more stable rather than having dramatic spikes throughout the day. And it also will help you from overindulging later on in the day. So that's one tip I usually like to say. The other one is eat slowly. I think during the holidays we get really excited because we're eating foods that we don't usually eat, or we're seeing family that we don't typically see. So I always encourage people to slow down because it's going to help prevent you from overeating, which also helps with those blood sugar spikes.
Yeah. Any advice when the conversation around the holiday table turns to politics? No, just a diet. No, okay, good. Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to keep it slow. It's like, oh, now we're throwing stuff at each other. All right, that's another way to portion control. All right, good stuff. Thank you so much. Great advice. If you want more information, you go to northernlighthealth.org. Megan, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.